Hello there. My name is Brett Stark, and I'm the manager of the Capital Program Management Unit here in the Chief Engineer's Office of the Connecticut Department of Transportation. Thank you for your interest in our capital plan overview presentation. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to provide you with a brief summary of our 2025 capital plan. Basically, we'll do three things here. We'll do a brief overview of what the capital plan is, how Connecticut DOT funds our capital plan, and I'll give you a brief summary of some major initiatives, programs, and projects that we have that we're working on currently. Let's begin with an overview. We'll start with how we get to the capital plan. Connecticut has a number of planning documents that we are required to prepare and maintain on a regular basis. The broadest of that is our statewide long-range transportation plan, which is a 20 to 30 year document that's mandated by federal policy and serves as our framework for preparing project-specific transportation plans. Then, as you see here in the middle, we have our statewide transportation improvement program, which is a summary of the 4-year planned federal funded projects that we have. The STIP is prepared in conjunction with our regional planning offices and municipal planning organizations who have their metropolitan transportation improvement plans and transportation improvement programs that they prepare, and we correspond with them to ensure that the projects are featured on our STIP. And then we have our capital plan report. The capital plan is our annual summary for stakeholders that talks about what we did in the previous year and what our plan is for the upcoming year. Again, like I said here, the capital plan is an annual report that talks about the upcoming 5-year period, the current year and the 4 years to follow. It details a comprehensive financial summary of our proposed capital program expenditures, and it describes the department's plans to address critical transportation needs and current challenges. One thing I will note is that the data presented in this capital plan report is based on the federal fiscal year, so it's the October 1 to September 30th timeframe, as opposed to the straight calendar year. How do we fund the capital plan? All right, this slide here basically tells a rather detailed story about our federal funding and our state funding here. If you look at this for the years 2016 to 2025, the amount shown in dark blue on this table represents the level of federal investment that we've seen and federal funding that we've received in those years. You will notice a significant increase between 2021, 22, and the following years. That's shown in the dark blue. Again, in the red is the state funding. That is the Connecticut authorized funding that we received. The state funding is used to leverage the federal dollars. Oftentimes, federal projects are funded at 80% or 90% of the total cost, and we need state funding to pay that extra 10 to 20%. And in some cases, we pay for other projects 100% using state funding. The light blue here that you see in 2022 to 2025, that represents discretionary grant funding that Connecticut DOT has received over the past several years. I'll talk more about that in a moment. And finally, if you look at years 2026 to 2029, here the hatched blue and orange amounts, those represent anticipated forthcoming expenditures in those coming years, both the blue representing the federal again and the orange representing the state. Discretionary grants. Over the past several years, Connecticut DOT has been extremely successful in receiving federal discretionary grants. We've received in 2024, we received $450 million in federal grant commitments over the course of 9 different programs here. But one thing I'll note is that it's on all modes here. You see that we've received $158 million for the Gold Star Bridge and $125 million for the I-91, 691, and Route 15 program. But we've also received projects for battery electric bus and New Haven line power improvements. So it's not just the highways and bridges. We're receiving discretionary grants that cover all transportation modes in the state. I'd also be remiss if I didn't note that during the same period of 2021 to 2024, Connecticut municipalities have received over $100 million in discretionary federal grants. So DOT works with FHWA and those municipalities to assist in delivery of those projects as well. This next slide summarizes our committed construction dollars, and it looks at the past 2 years as well as the upcoming year. Again, you see a significant increase in our anticipated construction spending for fiscal year 25. That is a result of some significant projects that we have moving towards construction in the coming year. Well over $2 billion, which is, in some look is here, you see practically double previous years. So a lot on the line, a lot coming up here. And I will note too that this slide does not include alternative contracting projects or town aid road projects. Kind of another way of looking at the same thing is the number of construction projects that we've pushed forward here in the coming years. Again, what I will note here is that while you saw a significant increase in construction dollars spent coming up in FY25, the number of projects is not significantly greater than FY24. Again, that's owing to some significant projects that we have coming out that I'll mention in a moment here. But we've certainly demonstrating that we are ramping up our number of projects and our number of expenditures here in the coming year. And I'll briefly touch here now on some major initiatives, programs, and projects. On the roadway side here, the highway bridge, just continuing in construction, we have our work done on N95 and East Lyme at interchange 74, and a major improvement to resolve one of the largest bottlenecks here in the state of Connecticut, the I-91, 691 Route 15 interchange. That's a 3-phase project. The first 2 phases have been advanced to construction, and we're in the process of wrapping up the design on the 3rd phase this year. On the bridge side, we're continuing our rehabilitation of the Gold Star Bridge, carrying 95 over the Thames River in Groton and New London. We also have some rehab planned for the Bissell Bridge. But, we're not just about bridges and highways here. We do a lot of work and efforts on trails and multimodal transportation systems here. So we've got projects working with the town of Watertown for their Steel Brook Greenway, and we continue to work to close gaps in the Farmington Canal Heritage Trail, including designing a significant gap closure project in Plainville right now. Looking at some other modes here on the rail side, we continue to work on major projects, including the new Enfield station on the Hartford line. We're also working at expanding the double tracking program, so adding a 2nd series of tracks along the Hartford line. We continue to do work at the New Haven rail yard to make sure that our rail fleet is capable of being maintained and updated as necessary here. We've got a brand new station in Naugatuck that's going to go into construction this year on the Waterbury branch line. We're working on some really exciting new changes at the New Haven Union Station campus, obviously one of the major stops on the New Haven line here for those who travel to New York City. And, overall, speaking of that same line, we're continuing with our TIME program, which is our Track Improvement and Mobility Enhancement program. And that is an effort to improve the travel times between New York and New Haven and the various stops in between there as well. And on the Waterbury branch line, we're in the process of finalizing design and advancing construction, some really significant upgrades to the stations on those lines. So a lot coming on the rail side. And again, on the transit side, for those who use our Connecticut transit system, we have a variety of initiatives that we're working on here, including Move New Haven, which is a bus rapid transit system that we're working with the city of New Haven on. We continue to work to roll out battery electric buses throughout the state to reduce emissions. And we're really working on a statewide bus stop enhancement program to enhance amenities for those who use our transit system. Alternative contracting, Connecticut DOT has continued to develop and advance projects using various alternative contracting methodologies, including construction manager at risk, design build, and construction manager general contractor. This slide provides a summary of some of the projects that we are currently working on with using alternative contracting and their status. Again, it's something that we've been authorized to do and something we look forward to doing as well in the future. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our municipal projects and the projects we work on with our municipal partners here. Through our capital plan, we fund a variety of programs and projects, including the state local bridge program, which is provides money to municipalities to fix the bridges that they own and maintain. Off-system bridges are other bridges that the municipalities maintain, but they are on they're eligible for federal aid. We have a transportation alternatives program, which provides funding for various trail programs and non-motorized projects as well as our grant program. So again, the grants are grants we fund with municipalities, including our small town economic assistance program, or STEEP, our local transportation capital improvement program that we work on with our regional planning partners, and the recently initiated transportation rural improvement program as well. We're interested in hearing from you. We welcome your feedback. This slide includes a link to an online form or an email address where you're welcome to submit any questions or comments regarding our capital plan. With that, I'll thank you for your time and wish you well. Have a great day.